Hi there, my name is Brian Dunnett, also known as Mr. Tidbit. How are you? And welcome to Deposit Dilemmas. A great topic today. I'm going to shed some light on what a deposit is and answer 5 questions that I get asked a lot regarding deposits. And well, with luck, smooth over any concern that you might have regarding them. Okay, so let's jump right in. Now, when a home buyer and seller get together and negotiate a deal, it's considered an accepted offer at this point. Could be based on conditions, could be a firm offer, but the deal hasn't closed yet, so it's considered an accepted offer. And it's at this point that the buyer is required to, well, submit a large ball of money over to the selling side. It's considered a show of good faith, their promise, their word, that they're going to do everything within their power to meet the timelines of the contract and, more importantly, close the deal, okay? Now, in my market and over the years, typically I would say 1 to 3% of the overall purchase price is good for a deposit. However, communities change, markets change, maybe 5%, 10% or more is required as well, okay? So you do the math on $1 million home, 1 to 3%, that's $10,000 to $30,000 just for the deposit, and of course more as we escalate up. Now, more times than not, the deposit is going to go into the seller's Brokerages trust account, and it will reside there until closing, and then it will be applied to the purchase price when the lawyers get together to finalize the deal, okay? Now, the number one question I get regarding deposits is, when does it have to be submitted by? And that's actually hard-coded right in the agreement of purchase and sale when you negotiate it at the outset. And the answer is 24 hours. So, it's not a lot of time, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a great tidbit and piece of information right here. This clause, it can be altered. Yeah, and I'll give you a great example of this. If I was working on your behalf and we're doing a deal, let's say Saturday, and we finalize the deal and it's accepted 6 o'clock, okay, 6 p.m. That would mean at 6 p.m. on Sunday, you would need to forward your deposit. I don't know, how many banks are open on a Sunday, right? We need some more time here. So I would change the clause and award you until 6 o'clock on the Monday, or maybe noon on the Tuesday, okay? And as long as the seller agrees with this, then hey, not a problem, okay? It can be changed, and everyone's aware of the new timeline to get your deposit in. Now, question number 2, what happens if you can't meet the deadline? Yeah, that's a concern as well. And the answer there, folks, is, well, technically it's a breach of contract, isn't it? And you should lose the property or possibly lose the property. My advice, work with your realtor. Communicate what exactly is going on. Maybe just a little bit more time you need. Maybe there's a glitch on the one side that has to be worked out. Get the communication going. He can talk with the other realtor on the other side. You might need to get the brokers of record involved. Try to work it out. However, sometimes you're going to get a seller that's very adamant, says, hey, you know what? I've given you a certain time frame. You did not meet it. I've got other buyers willing to submit offers. I'm going to go in this new direction. And unfortunately, this deal might fall apart for you. So that would be too bad. Now, number 3, can your deposit earn any interest? And again, that's hard-coded in the agreement of purchase and sale as well. And technically, you're agreeing to not receive any interest on your money. However, some listing brokerages do have an interest-bearing trust account, and you can ask for it if you want to, and it would all depend on your very unique situation. But here's the thing you have to be aware of, another tidbit of information for you. When you were negotiating that original deal, you might have been introduced to a Schedule B, and that Schedule B has a number of clauses on it that the listing brokerages provide regarding that trust account and exactly how much money you're going to get. In fact, there might even be an administration cost that would be charged to you to release those funds, $50, $75, $100. So you really have to do the math in your mind if it's worth your time and effort. If you're putting down $10,000 deposit and you're closing in 45 days, it's not really going to accumulate very much money for you. However, you put down a $100,000 deposit or more and it's closing in 6 months, then hey, even with that administration cost, it might be worth your effort for those few extra dollars come closing date to consider, okay? Now, number 4. Is your money ever at risk? Okay, that's a great question too. And the short answer, no and yes, okay? The reason it's no is if you have a condition in the offer, let's say we'll go with financing, and you can't meet that condition, well, it's worded in such a way that you're going to get your deposit back, okay? So words to this effect. This offers condition on financing for the buyer to arrange by such and such a date, failing which this offer shall be null and void, and the buyer's deposit shall be returned in full without deduction. Words to that effect. Okay, so on the 6th day of 7, you can't get your financing, the deal's going to fall apart, you do the necessary paperwork, and eventually you're going to get your money back. Okay, now when it is a risk to you is when you don't close the deal. That's the real kicker here. You fulfilled your condition on financing, let's say, and maybe your home inspection and others, but you don't close the deal. You change your mind, something comes out of your life that changes things. You could be on the hook for that deposit. It might go to a judge. He might rule in favor of the seller. You might lose that deposit. And in fact, that seller might sue you for any other losses he's incurred along the way. For instance, if he's had to resell his property, he ended up getting less than what you negotiated on your side, you might be on the hook for the difference there too. So very, very important to close that deal. Okay. Now, last but not least, number 5, and I think this is super important, folks. Give you an example. You're going to put down $20,000 or $25,000 on a house. You know what? You want to have access to that money right away. So if you're going to pull that money from an RSP or mutual fund, stock, or buying something, maybe it's even gifted to you, your investment advisor is going to need time to be able to extract that money. Certain forms to fill out might take 7 to 10 days. And when you're in a real estate negotiation and you have to submit money within 24 hours, 48 hours, you want to make sure you have access to those funds immediately. Okay, so work with your advisor early, get the money moved over, then go out, find your dream home, then negotiate your deal. And when you need to supply that deposit to the other side, you're going to have it right there in your savings or checking account at the ready to be able to do that. Okay, so worthy of consideration. Now, this ends the video here. If you have other questions, of course, we are here to help you. We would certainly like to hear from you by phone or email. And thank you so much for watching the video. And until the next time, all the best to you.